resources, inspiring interviews, business practices, and practical advice to take your art career to the next level. Join Sergio Gomez in today's Artist Next Level and get ready to take control of your career.
Hello, my friend. Happy New Year 2022. I'm very excited to connect with you today. Welcome to the Artist Next Level podcast. It is a new year. 2022 is here. Finally, we hope it's going to be a much better year than 2021 and 2020 combined. So far, it's looking good. I don't know how it's looking for you. Hopefully, it's looking all good. We had our own share of sickness and illness, throughout the Christmas break, but we are back at work. And super happy to be back here in the podcast as well and to give you a warm welcome into 2022. Wishing you only the best and also wishing you that all things kind of work out for you in 2022, that it becomes a very successful year for you. Well, today in the podcast, I want to do something a bit special. Last year, 2020, it was kind of a important year for me because I turned 50 years old. So back in November 18, yes, I'm a Scorpio, I turned 50 years old. And when I did that, I went live on Instagram and I read what something that I had written when I turned 50, which was what I called the countdown to the 50 top lessons I've learned about being an artist, about the art career, about life in 50 years. So like the top 50 lessons I've learned in 50 years about the art career and about mindset and being an artist and things of that nature. So I went live on Instagram and I went through my countdown. It was pretty awesome. I did that on my birthday on the November 18, and I had a lot of great feedback. A lot of people sent me messages and stuff like that. So if you heard this list before, well, it's going to be a bit of a review. And I want to share with you. For those of you guys who are listening to my podcast, for you who are listening right now, this is going to be a fun list of the 50 lessons that I have learned, in the last 50 years. Really, it literally took me 50 years to learn this thing. So here in just a few minutes, I'm going to give you 50 years worth of knowledge and understanding. And I hope that you enjoy this list. I hope that some of these points are also inspiration for your own art career, for your own art business, for your own mindset. And I hope that some of these years will carry on into 2022 and also help you, in your art career in some way or fashion. So it's a countdown. I'm going to start with the 50th all the way down to the 1st. And as I go through, I'll make some comments in between as well. So even if you heard this as my live Instagram, if you happen to be one of the people that were there, well, it's probably going to be a bit different because even though all the 50 things are the same, comments in between are always kind of on the moment. So here we go, my friend. The 50 countdown to the 50 things I learned about life, as mindset, being an artist in the art career. So here we go. The first one, the 50, is 50. The number 50 is just a number, but it feels like there's more to it. And that is so true. I got to become 50-year-old on November 18, and I thought, well, it's going to feel different. Or no, it was just like any other regular day. And except that everybody just said, hey, you're now in the 50s, or everybody kind of somehow reminded me that now I was in another world, in another club, I guess. Graduated from the 40s club, and now I went into the 50s club. So if you are there, my friend, I'm with you. Now I have a card to get in the 50s club. So happy to be there. But again, 50 is just a number. I still feel young. I still feel like if I was 30, or at least that's what I tell myself every day. And, it's more important, I think, how you feel inside than how many numbers may be attached to your name. So I feel young. I feel excited. And again, 2022, I believe is going to be my best year ever. So I hope it's going to be yours too. All right, let's go to number 49. Countdown, number 49 of the top 50 things I've learned about, life, mindset, my art career. And 49 is, it is never too late to start something new. So for those of you, my friends, who are right now listening, and maybe you have an idea, you have always wanted to do something or start something, well, maybe 2022 is your year, start something new. I looked at my life in last November, and when I turned 50, and I said, well, what can I do new that I have never done before? That it's exciting for me, that I have to start from scratch because I don't know anything about it. And I looked, and I realized I, was right in front of me that I wanted to do NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and NFTs for short. You perhaps have seen it in the news, you've heard about them, and well, I want to be part of that. It's something that I had totally no idea what they were other than what I saw in the headlines, and I wanted to understand it. I wanted to really get myself into it, immerse it, try it, test it, work it out. And again, I just wanted to, like 49. It's never too late to start something new. So at 50-year old, I said, this is something I don't know anything about. I want to know something about it, and I want to do it. So that's my goal. One of my goals for 2022. I will be releasing my NFT collection, which keep an eye on it. It's coming soon. I've already spent a whole month and a half learning and asking questions. And by the way, I have a number of guests who will be coming here to the podcast to share about NFTs. Some artists who are just beginners, artists who have been doing them for quite a while, or at least since NFTs been around, and also other experts in the field, so that they can also give us some insight. People that I have encountered along this new journey of mine, and I want to introduce them to you as well. In case you may have questions about what NFTs is all about, is it just a JPEG, is it a scam, etc. What things to know, what things you need to know about it. So it's going to be a great series of podcasts that is coming pretty soon. All right, now number 47. The art world, sometimes you love it and sometimes you hate it. And I think you can all agree with me. I don't think this one needs a lot of explanation. There are things that sometimes you love about the art world, and there are things that sometimes you just hate about the art world, right? Like, remember that banana stuck with duct tape on the wall or Art Basel? Yeah, that's one of the things I hate. But anyway, it's got its good days and it's got its bad days, just like anything else. Number 46 in this countdown. The art world is made up of the people you surround yourself with. So it's totally connected to number 46. For as much bad as it may be in the art world, at the end of the day, I believe that through art world, the art world that I really care is the one that I get to create myself with my community, with the people that I surround myself with you on the other side of this podcast. That's the real art world to me. Not the one that sometimes shows up in the headlines, but the one that I can connect with every single day through my social media, through email, through the things that we do together. So that's what I'm excited about. That's the kind of art world that I want to continue building in 2022. All right, let's go to number 45 in this countdown. And number 45 is a long-lasting art career is made of wins and losses that weave together into a beautiful story. I love this one. Check this out. A long-lasting art career is made of wins and losses that weave together into a beautiful story. And yes, it took me a while to write that sentence, but it's a really important one. I think we are on a marathon, not a sprint. We are here for the long run, and I believe, we have wins and losses along the way, and sometimes you want to give up, or sometimes you want to put everything behind. Sometimes you're like, why did I, chose this career, or why this career chose me, whatever. And at the end of the day, it's just a beautiful story that it's created, when we are all done with it. And that's why I think we love, to read artists' biographies and all the artists that have come before us, because we read about their wins and losses, their struggles, their difficult times, and then about their good times. And at the end, it's just this beautiful story that it gets told. And that's exactly what we are building. That's exactly what we are creating as artists. We're creating our own story every single day. All right, countdown number 44. When you get too comfortable in the studio, you become predictable. I believe that, when you get too comfortable, when you already know your thing left and right, and then, I don't know, it can become predictable if you don't find a way to challenge yourself where, okay, when we see another work, okay, I know exactly what's coming. I know what's going to come next week or next month because it's what you've been doing forever. And maybe there's some good to that, Consistency is important, but at the same time, within consistency, I think we should challenge ourselves in the studio. I think we should also surprise ourselves once in a while and do wild things, do crazy things, do things that are unexpected. And I think that is what's really fun about being an artist, giving ourselves permission to do so. So in 2021, I was feeling comfortable in my studio, way too comfortable. I could walk in and do work that I knew how to do with my eyes closed. And I decided to change my style somewhat. I mean, there are a lot of things that carry on, but I decided to do new things. And if you're following me on Instagram, you know exactly what I'm talking about. My work became more abstract since November of last year. So, I'm on a new path. I'm on a new road. I'm, trying to figure things out a bit different. I was being too predictable even to myself, and I needed a challenge. So I'm on this new kind of a creative challenge in my studio, and I'm very excited for it. So that's what 44 is all about. Okay, number 43. When you find something exciting in your studio, go as deep as you possibly can. When something is working, just keep going, keep pushing, keep going, keep pushing. There's got to be something else. There's got to be something. It's like if you're looking for a treasure and you find the trace of a coin of gold and bury it, and then you find two of them. So then you know that there's got to be more, right? If I saw one or two, now there's a third one. It's got to be more out there somewhere. So you got to keep looking, keep digging further, deeper. That's exactly what this one's all about, right? When you find something in your studio that's working, that gets you excited, there's not the time to sit down and chill. It's time to actually go deeper and really, really push forward. All right, number 42. Dream big and never stop dreaming. I think this is cliche, but as cliche as it could be, it is one of the top lessons I've learned, is to continue big dreaming. Continue the dreams. Dreaming is free. Dreaming something that allows you to visualize a future that is not yet here, but that it could possibly be here, and so dreaming, super, super important. Number 41, the bigger the sacrifice, the bigger the reward. I truly believe this. I believe that, when I sacrifice myself on things that I really want to accomplish, the reward is bigger than if I just do them, halfway through, or if I'm just doing like, well, it's just a task, it's just a chore or something. It's really when I sacrifice myself, the reward is bigger, or at least it feels bigger, right? And that to me is very important. All right. So we're in this, countdown of the 50 things I have learned about art, life, and mindset, in the last 50 years. So here we go. It's a good way to start 2022. Number 40. So we already went to the first 10. Number 40. No marketing will ever make up for the lack of commitment to your studio. In other words, for as much as good as you could be on Instagram or on social media, and for as much handsome or good looking you may be, and have these awesome, beautiful pictures, but if you're not putting your work, you're not putting your time in your studio, well, it will, show that way. It will not shine as it could be, because you're not giving it your best, and you're putting more emphasis on your marketing to make up for the lack of commitment in the studio. Ouch, I know that one makes maybe a little ouchy, but that is true, and we see that a lot sometimes on Instagram. And hopefully that's not you, my friend. I'm sure it's not you. It's for those who don't listen to this podcast. They think they have it all figured out. So don't worry. All right, number 39. Believe me, there's a treasure out there, and go get it every day. So believe there's a treasure out there, so you can go and get it every day. Now, this is something that I cannot take credit for. I heard this from Tony Robbins in one of his podcasts. I think it was sometime a couple years ago. And he says, you got to believe there's a treasure, because when you believe there's a treasure, you're going to go every day, get up and go and find it, or go and do your best to find that treasure, to get a bit closer to that treasure. The day you start, doubting there's a treasure out there, that's when you start kind of pulling back. That's when you start, forget it. Oh, I'll leave it for tomorrow. It doesn't really matter, right? And this is a mindset that for me is super important. I try to think of this every day when I wake up in the morning, and I believe there's a treasure out there. So I'm looking for it. I'll let you know if I find it. All right, I'll do an episode about that. All right, number 38. Have a mentor friend, have a mentor advisor, and have a mentor expert in your life. And I have done a number of, chats on my social media and videos and podcasts about the 3 types of mentors. Very briefly, I believe everybody should have 3 types of mentors. One is your mentor friend, somebody that you can go have coffee with, you can go to the movies with, you can visit his or her studio, a good confidant of yours, but who can also give you honest opinions. Then we should have all a mentor advisor, somebody that you admire, that could be a former professor, or a gallery director, or a curator, or even another artist that you respect, that you have access to, right? That you can maybe not go to the movies with or for coffee, but you can give them a call, or you can send them a letter or send them an email, because you have that direct contact somehow. And then you have, I think we all need a mentor expert. This is a person who maybe you have no access to directly. You don't know this person's email address or things like that. Maybe you just know this person from social media, or because from a book you read, or because you follow this person in YouTube or a podcast like this one, and so on. But you admire that person, and you can learn from that person, not directly unlike the other two, but you can learn from the things he or she puts out in the world, through books, through videos, through audio, through written word, etc. And I think we all should have them. Every year I ask myself, do I have a mentor friend? Do I have a mentor advisor? Or do I have a mentor expert that I can look up to in 2022? So hopefully this one's for you. Number 37 in this countdown of the 50 things I have learned about art, about mindset, and about everything else. All right, number 37. Choose your tools and make them work for you. So, as technology changes and as the world changes, look at what are the tools that give you the most for what you need at that particular moment in time. And then don't be afraid to change them when you see something new comes up. Artwork Archive, for example, is a tool that I've been using for many years that I love. Allows me to keep track of my work, it fits into my website, so it's really great. I love it. So it's a tool that I cannot live without as an artist. And if you are not using Artwork Archive, I recommend you use it. And actually, hint, I can give you a link where you can get 20% off for life from Artwork Archive. Just go to artworkarchive.com/from/Sergio-Gomez. And when you use that link, it will give you 20% off for life. And I really recommend it. ArtPlacer is another tool that I use a lot. ArtPlacer to put my artwork on digital settings, or also to create online exhibitions. And just go to ArtPlacer, online, artplacer.com, and you will find exactly what they do, how it works. Really awesome app. Artibuy, which is another app that I started using also last year to create augmented reality within my work. And I'm going to be also an art ambassador for Artibuy in 2022 because I love it so much. So check it out. I'll be talking about this more in coming episodes. But it's in other words, pick what are the tools that really help you with the things that you are doing right now. And these are, for example, 3 tools that really help me out. All right, number 36. If I tell you something is super cool, it's the biggest compliment I can give you. This one is just kind of a fun one. I don't know why I like to say super cool on things that I really love, I really enjoy. When I see an artist's work that I really like, man, that's super cool. So if I tell you, or if you see me that in the comments I say this is super cool, I really mean it. I mean, in my vocabulary, that's amazing. That's beyond good. That's super cool. All right, number 35. The longer you are an artist, the longer you realize how much you still need to learn. And, I think this is true. The older I get, the more I realize there's so much more to learn. There's so much more to understand as an artist. Anything from the tools to the making to the process to ideas to concepts to marketing to being out there in the world. I mean, there's so much. So I think we will never run out of things to learn. Number 34. The best teachers never stop being students. Super also important one. I've realized that over the last 50 years that I should always be a student. And that's why I'm always looking for, when I feel stagnant, okay, what do I need to learn this time? What class can I join? What thing do I need to learn? Last year I took a online class, which is pretty awesome, on bookmaking. An artist from London who does books. And I took his online class, and it was awesome. I really loved it. And now I have to make my book, but handmade artist books. So, I always like to be a student. And I sign up for all kinds of stuff online, just to learn more. All right, number 33. Your communication as an artist should match who you are as an individual. If you're funny, make us laugh. If you're serious, make us think. Just be you. Something that I've learned over the last 50 years is that, when it comes to me showing up to social media, when it comes to me creating my podcast or my videos or anything else, I just gotta be me. I just gotta be me. I cannot be somebody else. I cannot be the guy who or gal who is super smart in their podcast and very thoughtful and no, I just gotta be me. I cannot also be the guy who makes all kinds of jokes. So I don't know many jokes. So I just gotta be me. And I realize that when I'm me, this is the best. It's really the best I can give you, right? Is being me. So the best you can give to your people, to your audience, is more of who you already are, not who you wish to be. All right, number 31. Success belongs to those who return after the next failure. That's a good one, right? Success belongs to those who return after the next failure. That's a great one. And I think something you should think about it. And, because I said returns after the next failure, not the past failure, but the next one, implying that there's a failure coming along the way. And I know I'm going to have successes in 2022, but I also know I'm going to have some failures. And that's okay. Each failure is an opportunity to learn something new, to also be better prepared for the future. So success belongs to those who come back, after they fail again and again, they keep coming back. Number 30, Mondays are for aiming your ball towards the target. The rest of the week is for shooting arrows again and again until you hit the target. This one's just pretty much about productivity in organization during your week. I believe Mondays is a good day to sit down, to, figure out what this week is all about. What am I doing this week? Put all things in order so that you can start the week well, so that you're excited about your week, and that you can then, just shoot the arrows every day until you hit that target. All right, number 29. Somebody can copy or steal what you make, but nobody can take away who you are. That is the variable of success. I truly believe that, when it comes to our art, somebody can copy it, somebody can steal it from the web, from social media, from a show, but what they cannot copy or steal is who you are, and that is something that is super important. And that's why show up to your audience the way you are, because nobody can steal that. That's who you are. All right, next page, number 28. Rejections should make you sad because you care, but should not make you stop because you care even more. This is about rejections. And for you, my friends, if you have had a rejection recently, it's okay to be sad. Be sad for a day or an hour or 10 minutes. It's okay. But do not stop. For the sake of, you care more about, what you make. So rejection should make you sad because you care about things, but should not make you stop because you care even more, to a greater extent. So hopefully this is something that can help you in 2022 when you face rejections. I face rejections too. And it sucks. I don't like them. They are my least favorite. But, I care even more. So they don't make me stop. Okay, number 27. Don't waste time trying to convince someone to like your art. Instead, invest in those who already have said, yes, I love what you make. So in other words, don't waste time trying to convince somebody. If somebody doesn't like your art, be it they don't like your art, maybe they like somebody else's art, that's okay. But those who have already said yes, do show up for them and do the best you can for them. And that should also help your mindset. Number 26. If you don't define your own idea of success, you will never measure up to someone else's. In 2022, my friend, define what success means to you. What does success means, when you end 2022? I think you have to define it. If you don't define it, you will never measure up to everybody's idea of what success is. Some people measure it with money. Some people measure it with shows. Some people measure it with who they know in the art world or who knows them. Some people measure it with how many work they can make. It's valid. It's all okay. You just gotta pick what is your idea of success and stick by that. Who cares about everybody else? All right. Number 20. What was that? That was number 26. Let's go number 25. It's halfway, my friends. So let me hurry up. Today, being a successful artist is more than making great art in the studio. It requires the skill to adapt to the rapid changes in technology in order to maneuver in a complex world. Absolutely. Being an artist today, my friends, is very complex. It's not just making awesome art. As we all know by now, it requires skills that are always changing, and more than anything, adaptability, right? It's all about the adaptability. You have to adapt to the new world, things as they move and as they change, so that you can be successful. Number 24. So again, we are halfway into the top 50 lessons I've learned about art, mindset, career in the last 50 years of my life. All right, number 24. Every artist has an interesting story. Share it with the world. You have an interesting story, an amazing, beautiful story. Share it with your audience. Share it with the world. Number 23. It is not about the size of your studio. It's about what comes out of the studio that really matters. Again, some of you guys may have just a table, or maybe you are making art just on your iPad, or maybe you're making art, on a corner of the house right now that, it's not the ideal. But you know what? Amazing art can come out of all art places. And just look at the history of art, how art has been made. And I found that sometimes in the seasons where I had no space or very minimal space, that's when I've created some amazing work. And I think you can too. Never compare yourself to what you see on Instagram. We go to Instagram and we see these artists with this amazing, beautiful, natural light walking in this glamorous space, and we're like drooling, like, oh my God, I wish it was me. And then you look around and all you have is just a small little corner or a little table or working in the basement without light. That's okay. You can make amazing art. You can make amazing art wherever you may be in this moment. So take this to courage, my friend. All right. And if you have an amazing studio, bless you. Awesome. But you don't have to. It's not necessary. It's not required to make great art. All right. I don't know what number that was. Okay, that was number 23. Let's go to number 22. A scarcity mindset says, I don't see opportunities for me, and sits down to wait. An abundant mindset says, I don't see opportunities for me, and gets up to create them. That has been the motto of my life. It's like, I don't see sometimes opportunities coming my way, so I'm just going to get up and make my own. Call people and say, let's do something. If nobody wants to give me a show, hey, let's do something together. Let's do a pop-up. Let's go, let's figure something out. If all the galleries closed down in 2020 because of the pandemic, hey, let's do an online show. And that's what I did, right? When I couldn't curate exhibitions in person in the pandemic, well, I opened Sergio Gomez Curates.net, and I've been curating online shows ever since. So, when you have those things, my friend, you don't see opportunities coming your way, just get up and make them. Just get up and make them. All right? And bring others along the way. All right, number 21. Endurance as an artist is built when you push yourself beyond your comfort zone and pull yourself to relax and recharge. Push and pull again and again. This is super important. This concept of pushing and pulling, which I teach about inside the Next Level Academy, in my coaching program. There's a time to push and really go for the sale and really deploy all your marketing efforts and skills. And then there's a time to just relax and be an artist and enjoy life and not having to be pushed to the sale. And that is okay. This is the concept of push and pull. If you're all the time pushing, it just feels too pushy. You gotta enjoy being an artist, right? Number 20, reminder to self, the speed of life shortens the enjoyment of this moment. Slow down and absorb the beauty of the creative process. I think this one is more like one of those things to remind myself that I need to enjoy the process. I'm a go type of person. I wake up in the morning and like, okay, where do I need to go? What do I need to do? And that's my mindset throughout the whole day. So I need to, remind myself like, wait a minute, you're just running too fast. You need to chill. As my wife says, slow down so that I can enjoy the process. Okay, number 19, to stay relevant in your art marketing, you need to be adaptable. Falling in love with one way of doing things will eventually leave you behind. This one is so true. Because when we learn something and it works, we want to stick with it. We want it to work forever because we don't like change. We are creatures of habit. None of us like change for change's sake. So, when that happens, when you are not adaptable and you fall in love with one way of doing something, and then when something new comes around the corner, you don't want to accept it. You don't want to take it. You push it away as not for you, not good, it's bad or whatnot, simply because you just don't want to take the time to learn about it. You just don't want to take the time to accept that the world has changed, or that what you used to do has changed. It's like if you were still doing submissions for shows and galleries with slides. Remember those 35 millimeter slides? Those of you who are old enough like me, we have boxes of them in our studio. We don't want to throw them away. perhaps because they cost so much. So I still have a box of them. Maybe one day I'll get rid of them. But it's the same thing, right? That doesn't work anymore. So we gotta adapt. We gotta move forward. Otherwise, we eventually fall behind and we'll be left out. All right, number 18. Turn up the volume of your imagination and quiet down the voices of disbelief or negative thinking patterns. You gotta turn up the volume of your imagination of positive thinking so that those negative thinking patterns go away. Number 17, there's an audience for every artist. The trick is not to find it, but to let the audience find you by making yourself visible. This is a good one, right? There's an audience for every artist. And sometimes we are really thinking about how do I find my audience? How do I find art collectors? And I always answer with the question, so what are you doing to make yourself visible so that your audience can find you, so that art collectors can find you? Because guess what? Art collectors are always looking. Number 16, there are many ways to be an artist. You just have to choose yours and stop judging the choice of others. That is so true, my friend. I mean, I've seen so many artists who, judging everybody else because they're not like them, right? Just be you. Make your choices. If you want to put prices in your website, go for it. Put prices in your website. Who cares? If you don't want to put prices in your website, don't put prices in your website. Who cares, right? But do not be judging everybody else who doesn't do what you do, right? And that's just one sample, but anything else. There are many ways to be an artist today. You want to sell online? Sell online. You don't want to sell online? Don't sell online, right? You want to work with galleries? Work with galleries. You don't want to work with galleries? Don't work with galleries. You pick you. Be who you want to be and stop judging or criticizing those who are not the way you want to be or they don't conform to your choice. All right, let's see. Number 15, your ability to ask with the right words increases your chances to receive the yes you're looking for. This is a good one. Your ability to ask the right words with the right words increases your chances to receive the yes you are looking for. You gotta learn and know how to ask. This is a big lesson that I learned over the last 50 years. You gotta learn how to do your ask so that you can get the yes that you're looking for. If you don't know how to ask, that's why sometimes you may not be getting yeses. Number 14, knock on doors you wish to be open. You may be just one knock away from your next opportunity. Some doors may already be half open. In other words, you gotta knock to find opportunities. If you are not knocking doors, then opportunities may not be coming your way. And I know many artists who, start and their careers emerging, and they may not have everything together. Their work may not be mature enough, but they are really good at knocking doors and asking for opportunities, and they get opportunities, even though they're just starting out, and that is great. I love that because you just gotta knock on doors. Opportunities don't always just land on your lap. Number 13. Your artist email list is the only audience you really own. Social media followers are a borrowed audience because you do not own their contacts. So, in other words, it's just a reminder to continue, growing your email list. Number 12, don't wait for the life to change before you in order to change the life ahead of you. You can always change, right? You can always change what's come next. Number 11, a failure is either a wall or a bridge to your next level. You decide either way. When you fail at something, make it either a bridge, to your next level, or a wall. So you really want to think about how you take failure, right? It's a mindset game. It's a mindset. Number 10, in order to grow a large audience, spend time showing up to the small one you have first. A true audience is earned, not purchased. In other words, don't wait for you to have 10,000 followers to show up to the 100 that you already have. Imagine 100 people in your house. That would be a big crowd by all means. So show up to the ones you have. Don't wait for that to have the big one. The big one will come when you show up to the small one you have. Number 9, silence is the space where new ideas speak out the loudest. Take time to quiet the noise. It's just kind of a reminder to myself, to every day find time to be quiet, to just shut up. All right, my friends, we're pretty close to the last 10, right? We're on the last slide. Hope you're enjoying this chat here. Number 8, sales are the result of doing a number of things right. So, you need your art, you need your audience, you need your attention, you need an opportunity, and that creates sales. So, if you want like a further in-depth study on this, join my coaching program. Inside the Art Next Level Academy, I have a whole course about sales, where we talk about the art, the audience, the attention, the offer, the opportunity equals the sale. So it's a formula. So check it out if that's a goal of yours to increase your sales in 2022. I think you'll enjoy this. Number 7, don't be afraid to share good old work. What is old to you is brand new to a fresh new set of eyes. So my friend, this is super important too. A lot of times we share our artwork and say, well, everybody already saw it. Why should I, post it again? Just because you posted it, doesn't mean, it's not new. Or just because something is old to you doesn't mean it's old to everybody. Number 6, the question is not, how do I find art collectors? The right question is, what am I doing so that collectors find me? Collectors are always looking. And I think I already explained that one before. Number 5, strategy is figuring out the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Very important. You gotta create a strategy in order to get where you want to be. Number 4, a scarcity mindset wants to keep things to itself for the fear of someone stealing their ideas. An abundant mindset shares freely and lives without fear of somebody stealing their ideas. Why? Because they're giving them away. And that's kind of the mantra I've been following for the last few years. Just give it away. Just talk about it. Just share what you know. It's okay. It's okay. And I don't feel like somebody's going to steal my stuff. All right, number 3. Just because you posted it once, it doesn't mean everybody saw it. In other words, keep posting. Number 2, be grateful for the community you have now. Don't wait for the one you wish to have. Be grateful for every person that likes, that comments, that sends you a DM, that looks at your work. That's awesome that you have them. And number 1, the number 1 lesson I've learned in the last 50 years is, for me, it's all about God and my family, and it's all about the people that I surround myself with. So in that order, and that's kind of what allows me to do what I do and to have the fun that I have creating content and sharing and doing what I do, my friends. At the end of the day, it's about that, very thankful to God for the opportunity that I have to do this. Thankful to my family also for their support in everything I do. Dr. Ana Gomez, that's my companion and also my business partner in all this. It's really fun. By the way, we have a book coming that we are co-writing, and it's coming out early in 2022. So keep an eye on that. And it's all about you, my friend. All about you who listening to this podcast, who's on the other side. Thank you for your time. Thank you for tuning in. And, thank you as well. And I have a bonus one. So those are the 50, but I have a bonus one that I came out later like, oh, this is a good one too, but I don't want to delete any of the other ones. And this one is also something that I go by. Is art is not about money. No. But you need the money to make the art that is not about the money. So it's okay to talk about money. It's okay to talk about sales. It's okay to talk about making money, because I want to make art and I need the money to buy the supplies, to buy, the rent, the studio, and everything else that I need, the marketing, in order to be able to make the art that I want. So it's okay to talk about money, to price your art correctly, to sell it, to market it, because you need the money to make the art that is not about the money. So having said that, my friend, hope you enjoyed this chat. Please do me a big favor. Share it with all your friends. It's going to mean the world to me. 2022 is going to be awesome here in the podcast. I have a lineup coming up. For sure, there will be an episode every week. Sometimes there might be 2, like a couple shorter ones sometimes. But it's going to be great. And I have a great plan for the podcast for 2022. And if I was a little bit slow on 2021, it's not going to happen in 2022. Okay, I guarantee it's going to be awesome. So starting with this podcast today, share it with all your friends. Tell them about the Artist Next Level podcast to subscribe, because really good things are coming. Great interviews. We're going to talk about NFTs very soon, kind of breaking it down to what it is, how it works, what's the big deal about this, and a host of other guests that are coming to the podcast as well. We're going to talk about materials and all really fun stuff. So have a great day, my friend. Happy New Year. Great to be back here with you. Wishing you all the best. Have a blessed day. And my friend, like usual, I will see you at the next level.
Check out our website at www.theartistnextlevel.com, where you will find our podcast library, learn about our upcoming webinars, find resources relevant to your career, and much more. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you at the next level.